Yes, ma'am.
I read recently some research that was suggesting that there are some things that dyslexics are better at than other people, that they can see things in a third dimension easier and struggle with two-dimensional stuff. And you've obviously mentioned a couple of things that you feel that dyslexics are good at, like being determined. Are there other things that, from your experience, dyslexics are better at than other people? I have a vested interest in this because I have a dyslexic son.
Yes. Well, Richard Branson's dyslexic. Hasn't done too badly. Tom Cruise is dyslexic. Didn't do too badly. Muhammad Ali is dyslexic. Gordon Goodhue, the swimmer, dyslexic. Leonardo da Vinci was dyslexic. He thought differently. His shapes, his whole business was breaking new ground, and lots of people would say that ground has never been recaptured in his case. Einstein was dyslexic. Winston Churchill, dyslexic. Winston Churchill is a good example. Winston Churchill was one of the great orators of the world. The reason he was a good orator was, being a dyslexic, if he was standing here speaking to you today as I am, he, like me, I imagine that you're as stupid as I am. So I want to be absolutely certain that you get the message. That's why I've gone on a bit too long, and maybe sometimes too far in one edge of the explanation, because I assume you're not grasping it in the same way as I would not grasp it. So therefore I've got to be absolutely certain in my own mind they've got it. So if I go out this door sometime this afternoon, it'll tumble into my head, I hope, well, at least they've all grasped it. Churchill, when he spoke in Mississippi, and he made that fantastic phrase, "The Iron Curtain is dropping on Europe." What a fantastic vision of the separation of Berlin as it was to begin with, and then the whole wall for the Cold War. Suddenly the Iron Curtain is dropping. That's a visual that you would never confuse anything with, and you suddenly see it as an Iron Curtain. And that's how he described it. And when I was racing, I mean, the other thing, by the way, about dyslexics, first of all, they generally are more creative. My son's creative skills as a film or television producer, if you like, or cameraman in some cases. A dyslexic, because he can't think the same way as the large percentage of you can, has to find other ways of doing business. So they think out of the box. Now, your box is over here. And I said to you, the cleverest boy in my class, I'm not going to give you his name, but I know it. He hasn't got much of a job today. I probably have made, God knows how many millions more than him. And he was academically very, very clever. But he thought like that all the time. Now, a dyslexic can't think like that all the time. They haven't the capacity to do that. So they've got to look round the corner and see what other things happen as to how they can get something done. Your son will find that one day. It's frustrating for him just now, maybe, and at the very young ages it's even more frustrating because they're more injurable at the very young age. As he grows up, he gets a tiny bit more confident because he plays football well. I played football for my school and my county when I was young in primary school. That was the only thing that saved me at school, because that's the only thing that gave me respectability. So sports helped me. Sports helped many different forms of dyslexia. I could give you some racing drivers who are categorically dyslexic. I would say a very large percentage of any Olympic team are dyslexics. A lot of football players can't read and write correctly. They can sure as hell play football. So they find what they're good at. So the academic standard sometimes isn't everything in life. So as long as you can encourage your son and try and form his way of getting into doing things that he can have self-respect in. The moment that I feel good at something, boy, do I concentrate on it, and I want to be the best at it. I think I would have won the World Championship of window cleaning. I really do. I have total confidence in it. And that's a silly thing to say, but I'm really confident I could do that. You know, everybody else thought, oh, I wouldn't bother cleaning windows. No, I could have made a lot of money cleaning windows. So you find other ways of doing it.